Good morning. We are going to discuss a very important question: how to create effective communication. That is the goal of every organization. If you are working in an organization, in whatever capacity you are working, wherever you are working, one important parameter is communication. If communication is effective, everyone is able to perform well. You may be marketing manager, you may be production manager, you may be finance manager, you may be HR manager, or you may be a worker, or you may be a chowkidar, a gatekeeper. Whatever you are, if you are effective in communication, you are happier, organization is happier. And communication is such thing which we all use and which is so easy to understand, so easy to apply. But most organizations ignore these aspects. They give technical trainings, but they rarely give training in communication. If every employee is given training in communication, their performance will double. Yes, their performance will double. Their performance will show very high level of efficacy. So, communication is the most important thing in terms of giving you output. If you focus your energy on communication, improving communication, the level of performance improvement will be beyond imagination. So, dear friends, if you really want to practice management with a clear focus, very clear energy, focus on this one aspect, communication. So, let us understand the communication process. And communication improvement is being careful about each of these processes, each of these aspects. What is communication? Somebody is sending a message to another person. So, there is a sender and there is a receiver. The sender has something in mind or some communication to be sent. This communication is sent through a medium. If the sender sends the communication through email, then the medium is internet. If the sender sends the communication through a circular, then there is a printed sheet which goes to the receiver. The sender can speak, the sender can give telephonic call. So, it could be by telephone. The sender may send the information by WhatsApp call, by face-to-face meeting. The message is encoded at this stage. The sender will encode the message and the receiver will decode the message. The sender will encode the message, means there is a message in the mind of the sender. The sender will have to encode it. The sender may use English, the sender may use Chinese, the sender may use Japanese or any other language. The receiver should be able to understand that language. The receiver doesn't know English, the sender encodes the message in English. What will happen? It will fail. But the receiver understands Japanese, the sender will encode the message in Japanese. The receiver will receive the message, decode it because the receiver knows Japanese. This is fine. So, sender has to send a message to receiver. What is the first thing that sender should know? The sender should know about the receiver, this receiver's capabilities. The sender should know whether the receiver is able to understand a given language. Will the receiver be able to understand this language, the difficult words or the context, the tone? Sometimes the sender may speak in English. The receiver also knows English, but the receiver is not able to understand this English because of different tone, different level of intonation. People in different regions speak with different level of stress, different level of intonation. Their accents are different. A person who is from Australia speaks English little bit with different intonation. A person from India or a person from United Kingdom would speak from another intonation. So this is also very important. So when we talk about encoding and decoding, language becomes very important. So ask yourself, language, then intonation, I am not saying that you train everybody in English. I am saying that you train everybody that when they are speaking, they should speak in the language which the receiver is able to understand. If I am talking to you, I should know which language you know. And if you say that, okay, you know Hindi language, I have to speak in Hindi language. And if you say you know Japanese language, I have to speak in Japanese language. If I do not know Japanese, it is my limitation, it is not your limitation. I have to take help of a translator and speak to you in Japanese language. So the most important thing to start with is language. Remember, language that we use should be such which can easily be understood by receiver. There should not be any possibility of miscommunication, misinterpretation. One word can have 2-3 meanings. So take very careful, be very careful. Don't use such words. Look at this word, for example. Conceive. This word has 2 meanings. One is to think, another is to become pregnant. And if a lady comes and starts saying, I conceive, somebody might understand it in different way. Somebody might think, yes, she is thinking something. Another person might say this, she has become pregnant. So conceive word has 2 meanings. Be very careful when you are using a word which may have 2 meanings. So choosing the right language, right words without any ambiguity, using simple language and speaking at a comfortable flow. I have seen some people try to speak very fast. I salute their ability to speak fast, but that is not the purpose of communication. The purpose of communication is exchange of mind, exchange of meaning, which is better when I speak at comfortable pace. I should be understood by you properly. Therefore, the flow of communication, the flow of language, the flow of words should be comfortable. So we have to work in a relaxed manner and let the workers feel relaxed. So using right language, right intonation, right words, these are essential starting points for the sender. The sender has to use right medium. Multiple mediums are available, plenty of mediums are available. You have to send a message to a youngster. You can send the message by WhatsApp. Within a few seconds, he will get the message and he will act. But if you have to communicate with people like me, it is better you communicate by giving a direct call rather than giving a WhatsApp message. Because the speed at which youngsters are tuned to modern technologies is amazing. But people like me, people of my age, prefer to remain connected on a face-to-face meetings or telephonic meeting. So find out the right medium. Use the right medium. And remember, whatever medium you use, there will still be some barriers. There can be different type of barriers. If I am talking to you, in between there is a noise, there is a barrier, and this noise can distort the meaning of communication. If you really want distortion, that's a different thing. But otherwise, try to ensure seamless communication, no noise, no barriers. You know, when Mahabharat war was taking place in India, at that time, they wanted distortion, they wanted this barrier, Pandavas. When Yudhishthira spoke, Ashwathama mara gaya, Naru va kunjaru. This is a beautiful story, read about it. Now, as soon as Yudhishthira spoke these words, there was noise, there was communication barrier, and this noise, distorted the communication. The message was distorted. Yudhishthira spoke something, half of it was understood by Dronacharya, and he became completely disheartened, because Yudhishthira wanted to say that an elephant called Ashwathama has died, but Dronacharya understood as his own son Ashwathama died. Communication gap. A message was distorted. Here, this message was distorted, barrier was created purposefully so that there is miscommunication. Yudhishthira doesn't want to speak lie, he always speaks truth. And Dronacharya believes in whatever Yudhishthira says, and therefore there was distortion. So this is just to explain the point. But the most important thing that we have to remember is, we have to remove the different barriers. There are plenty of possibilities of barriers. Emotional barrier, psychological barrier, noise barrier, perceptual barrier. Remove these barriers. Perceptual barrier, psychological barrier, very difficult to remove. I am a factory owner, for example. I am the owner of the factory, and I am talking to trade union leader. The trade union leader is having negative thinking about me. I am trying to communicate, but my communication will be distorted. My words would be misunderstood. Whatever I will say will be taken in negative context. Why? Because the receiver here is a trade union leader. He has negative attitude about me. What kind of barrier is it? This is psychological barrier. How to resolve this issue? Break down psychological barriers. Don't communicate till you have removed the barriers. If you will speak when the other person is having psychological barriers, it will be a futile exercise, or there will be another miscommunication. The possibility of miscommunication is more. Therefore, avoid speaking. Wait for the right time. What should you do? First of all, remove all barriers. These barriers must be removed. Psychological barriers, emotional barriers, mental barriers, language barriers. Bring down all these barriers. Create a very open and friendly environment. So, what should I do? I am owner of a factory. I have to talk to a union leader who is having very negative attitude towards me. I have to talk to him, I have to speak to him. What should I do? Tell me, what should I do? Yes, the first step I have to take is to bring down these barriers. What should I do? I should invite him for a tea party. Offer him a cup of tea. Share information about myself. Show to him I am very open to him. I am very friendly to him. I have very positive attitude towards him. And convince him that I really want welfare of the workers. And then I have to speak. I hope by this time his psychological barriers are reduced. If his psychological barriers are reduced, he will be able to understand myself in proper context. A communicator must therefore remember context, goals, they are both very important. What is the context in which you have to speak? What are the goals to be achieved? Communication is always with some goals, right? I am the owner of a factory. I want to talk to a trade union leader. Why? I have some goals. What are the goals? I want my workers to work with greater energy. I want my workers to work with tremendous zeal. I want my workers to put in their best efforts. These are my goals. I have to work under some pressures. There are goals, some pressures, but I have to remain relaxed. I have to remain stress-free. If I am under stress, my communication will be distorted. The receiver will not be able to get right meaning. So I have to focus on this. Am I getting frustration? Check it. Frustration is a very dangerous element in communication. If I am frustrated, this frustration can distort my communication. My message will be distorted. Remember, people look at words only 10%. The remaining 90% of the communication is body language, is how we speak, our smile, our confidence, our relaxed manner, posture, intonation, stress, all these constitute 90%. So if I am frustrated, I will make others frustrated. I will make others uncomfortable. My negativity is likely to be reflected in communication. If I am positive and relaxed, this positivity will be reflected in my communication. So be careful. Frustration, emotions. Ideally, you should try to check your emotions. You have to communicate always with a smiling face, with a positive mindset, with very simple to the point professional approach. But we are all human beings. Emotions can come. I may be angry sometimes. I may be frustrated sometimes. You have to check all these things. It is very important that we have to check our emotions, control our emotions. Another important aspect is culture. People should be given cross-cultural training. Cross-cultural training means how to communicate with somebody from different culture. How to communicate with somebody who is from a different background. Because if I am communicating with somebody and I am not able to understand cultural differences, there can be problems. There can be problems. I am from a culture where people greet each other by hugging. So suppose I meet with another person from another country, from another cultural background. Respectfully, I try to hug, to greet, but the other person may find it uncomfortable because in their culture, hugging is not a means of communication, not a means of greeting. Hugging is done only among very close relatives. So in that case, what do I lack? I lack communication training, cultural training. When communicating with people from different cultures, it is necessary to understand their culture. It is necessary to keep in mind the cultural differences and respect the other culture. Follow their culture. As per their culture, you have to offer right mode of communication, right mode of greetings, respectful. Be respectful. But how? Keep in mind the other culture. If the other culture recognizes namaste, offer that. Remember, receiver also has certain background, certain expectation, certain experiences, prior experiences. They will play a very important role. Last time when I talked to my trade union leader, I abused that person, and the person is still having that experience in memory. What will happen? This person will continue to harbor negative thinking. So keep in mind, when we are communicating prior experiences, expectations of the receiver, they play very important role. Reduce them, reduce their impact, and be specific, to the point, without any emotions. Communicate with the receiver. What are the most essential elements? Try to create environment of openness. Try to create environment of mutual trust. If you are able to create an environment of mutual trust, then the possibility of distortion will be less. Psychological barriers will reduce, right? So these barriers will be reduced. Don't just give message, receive feedback. As soon as you talk, look into the eye of the other person. Look at the response, look at the level of satisfaction, dissatisfaction in the other person's eye. Accordingly, modify. Try to collect feedback. Feedback can be direct, it can be indirect, it can be in body language. Read out the body. So let us summarize what we have discussed. We have discussed that communication is the most powerful tool to bring desired improvement in any organization. If you really want to improve the working of any organization, if you really want to double the performance of people in any organization, across all level, focus on the most important element, that is communication. And we have discussed there are senders, there are receivers in communication. The sender has to keep in mind that there are going to be barriers in communication. These barriers must be reduced. These barriers must be minimized. The sender must keep in mind the context, must try to check the emotions, remain calm, remain relaxed, remain completely free from all tension, be at ease, and keep in mind the goals. Accordingly, should frame right communication, right message, right language, simple words, to the point communication, and pass on the message to the receiver and check the feedback and try to remove barriers. Thank you. I hope you will all apply these simple principles in your day-to-day life and achieve success in your professional career. Thank you.